welcome to the interview. Our guest today has a lot of firsts to her credit. She was the first woman lawyer of the Maldives. Under her leadership, the Maldivian Democratic Party won the first ever presidential election in 2008. 10 years later, she was appointed as the first female defence minister of the Maldives. And today she is one of the leaders who are redefining the defence ties between India and the Maldives. What does this partnership mean for the Indo-Pacific? And what are the challenges that lie ahead? To discuss all of this and more, I'm joined by Mariya Didi, the Defence Minister of the Maldives. Mariya Didi, welcome to WION.
Thank you, Palki. Thank you very much.
You arrived in India earlier this week for a 6-day-long visit. What is the purpose of this trip and what are the outcomes that you're hoping for?
President Saleh, when he took oath of office, he promised to professionalize and make MNDF a fighting fit force. The Southern Command is the training epicenter of the Indian Navy. I have met with the Southern Naval Commander, Admiral Chawla, and Admiral Humpy Holly here, and the faculty here as well. I have seen the standard of training that they offer here. The Indian Naval Academy is the cradle of leadership, as they say, the Indian Navy's cradle of leadership. The purpose is to increase training so that we achieve the objectives of President Saleh's government of professionalizing and educating the forces.
And you'll be the first minister from outside India to review the passing out parade at the Indian Naval Academy. What does this invitation from India mean for you personally, also for the relationship between New Delhi and Malé?
I am absolutely delighted to be here. You know, I can imagine even now. Yesterday in the evening we saw the final bit of training and it was just remarkable, marvelous, you know. I can imagine the feelings of the parents. It's something, you know, that you feel such a sense of pride, you know, when you see your children graduating in the, I mean, they must be having a sense of so many mixed feelings, you know. I really admire them for the way they have supported their children to take this very noble profession of defending their country. I can imagine the emotions the faculty members would feel, the cadets themselves. They've been together, you know, bonding with each other. I've seen the friendships that develop from such trainings together, the friendships that build so much trust, you know, between forces, very much based on these sort of interactions and trainings that they have together. So it's marvelous. Of course, as far as the two relationship between the two countries go, I believe it has never been more stronger. Your Prime Minister, Honorable Modi, the Maldives was the first country he visited after he got re-elected. And then it's just been a series of firsts. You know, you delivered COVID shields to many countries in the neighborhood, but we were the first to receive it. So I believe that these are a series of firsts between Maldives and India, and it shows how the level of closeness between the two countries. You know, Maldives having India as with our India First policy, and Prime Minister Modi with his neighborhood first policy, showing it in action.
Indeed, and your visit also coincides with Exercise Dosti, which is a trilateral Coast Guard exercise involving India, the Maldives and Sri Lanka. And in August this year, top security officials from these three countries also met virtually, and they agreed on something called the 4 pillars of security cooperation. Tell us more about Exercise Dosti and what is the objective behind this Colombo Security Conclave?
Exercise Dosti, we were celebrating 30 years of Exercise Dosti. I believe it is the longest running joint exercise in the region. We started with India and Maldives, and then Colombo has joined. We had observers from Bangladesh, and Seychelles. We were expecting Mauritius, but they couldn't come this time. But they are still observers in this Dosti exercise, and we are hoping, that this would lead to more joint exercises in the region, more training, doing things more together. The 4 pillars, as you say, that we have agreed in the Colombo conclave is to get rid of terrorism, radicalization, maritime safety and security, trafficking and organized crime, cyber security. These are the things which are threatening the security of all our 3 countries. We see this as a new minilateral arrangement, and we hope to expand it to include Mauritius, Seychelles and Bangladesh soon.
What are the clear security threats that the Indian Ocean region faces today, according to you?
Well, as I mentioned before, narco trafficking, IUU fishing, human trafficking, maritime terrorism, piracy. These are just a few of the common threats that we face in the region, and which we believe we can tackle through more regional cooperation.
Regional cooperation would include countries working together. India and the Maldives are expanding their security ties, and this has become a subject of controversy as well. Recently, the hashtag India Out made a lot of news and noise both in New Delhi and Malé. I want to ask you, as the Defence Minister of the Maldives, are the people of your country opposed to a stronger security relationship with India?
This is a handful of people and social media bots trying to make a nuisance of themselves, propagating baseless rhetoric. People with vested interests and ulterior motives, those who are uncomfortable with rules-based order, democracy, transparency, good governance, and they hate to see a corruption-free society because they are themselves so corrupt. The surveillance and patrolling that have come through the cooperation that we have together is understandably worrisome for beneficiaries of the narcotic trade, whose illicit spoils are being confiscated in unprecedentedly large quantities. So I believe, this makes them uncomfortable, and this is where, you get, as I said, just a handful of people and the social media bots creating all sorts, creating a nuisance of themselves.
This clearly is a propaganda. You mentioned some very interesting terms. You said people opposed to a rules-based order and a corruption-free government. Are you referring to people in your country, politically motivated individuals, or perhaps a foreign hand?
I'm referring to those who are uncomfortable with rules-based order. I'm referring to those people who do not want to see our country as a corruption-free country. They are very uncomfortable with good governance, transparency, and when they see it happening, they want to bring in some rhetoric about something that doesn't exist, just to make people scared and to make people believe that there is a problem when nothing exists.
Does this have any bearing on your relationship with India, and what is your message to New Delhi in the wake of such campaigns?
Absolutely not. Those people, as I said, it's just a handful of people, and they're creating a nuisance. So it doesn't. We are continuing. We are focused. We do not lose our focus just because some people are creating a nuisance with themselves. And my visit here and the fact that I am reviewing the passing out parade tomorrow is testimony to the close relationship that exists between our 2 nations.